We're here at the request of Iceman. He seems to think that you have something left to offer the native.
Show me what you're made of.
Nice.
Having any fun yet?
I was counting. You were around 12 years old when the first
Yes.
movie came out.
I was.
That's amazing. What can you tell me about the first time you saw Top Gun and you fell in love with the story and that eventually helped you approach to this new movie, Maverick?
Yes, like you said, I was 12 years old. It was May of 1986. I saw it on the big screen, which was the only way to see movies back then. Yeah, I fell in love with the story, the characters, Tony Scott's style, the aerial sequences. No one had seen anything like that before. It's an example of the perfect summer blockbuster. It played all summer long, the soundtrack was all over the radio, and all that stuck with me. You know, I remembered that, and that feeling is, I think, what we all tried to kind of key into when making this film. But yeah, coming back to it as a director, you know, 2017, thinking about how to make it, I went back and watched the original film, and I realized it's really a drama. It's a character-driven story surrounded with this big action movie on the outside. So we approached from the point of view of character and story first, and then figured out how to make these action sequences really spectacular.
I want to thank you for all these nostalgic moments that are in the movie. We are not gonna spoil them, but I do have to thank you and ask you about Val Kilmer.
Yes.
How did you live that behind the scenes, being with him on set? Did you cry? What did you feel?
Yeah, well, to work with Val, he's one of my all-time favorite actors. I love him in Top Gun, I love him in Heat, Tombstone. He's had so many great characters over the years. But to be able to bring him back as Iceman with Maverick, to see Val and Tom on the screen together for the first time in 36 years, it was very emotional, because it's a very emotional scene. They both have so much respect for each other as artists. But it felt like a real-life reunion as well while we were filming it. So very emotional scene in the movie, very emotional scene to film, but such an important part of the franchise for Val to be in it. I'm just thrilled we got him to do it.
The expanded aspect ratio for the film, for us to enjoy it on IMAX.
Yes.
That looks amazing, but behind that, it's the working with the people that has the camera and you directing that.
Yes.
The pressure and the challenge of that.
I'm happy with the work, but it's not just me. It's literally thousands of people that worked on this film. The camera system I developed with Claudio Miranda, my cinematographer. We spent 15 months figuring out how to fit cameras into this cockpit, and his whole camera team had to design a lot of custom brackets and pieces to fit inside the jet, so it was a long process. But to capture that for real, with no CGI, no green screen, you can feel it, you know? It's a classic film feel, but captured with the latest technology. And our goal was to give people the experience of what it's like to be in one of these fighter jets.
Working with Tom Cruise, which is amazing, is your second movie with
Yes.
him. And that's also a challenge, because you said it, he doesn't like CGI, he doesn't like green screens, he wants it to be real. And nowadays, it's hard to find that, but
Yes.
it's also hard to do that because you're risking your life at some point also.
Yes.
So, how was that?
Well, with Tom, yeah, he's always pushing the envelope. He wants to deliver the most visceral experience for the audience. He wants to entertain them. Most important, he wants them to be invested emotionally in the character. And that's what makes a great action sequence, when you really care about not only Tom's character, but all the characters that are in this sequence. Certainly for me as a director, there was a lot of stress of putting these actors up in these planes, but I knew they were being flown by the best aviators in the world. These are real Navy Top Gun pilots flying these sequences, so they couldn't be in better hands, and we were all blown away by their professionalism.
Talking about all this training, the G-Force training, because working with Tom Cruise is really difficult, amazing I guess, but he doesn't like green screens and the CGI and all that stuff, and I know you had to train. And my first question is, how many times did you throw up?
Bueno, yo puedo contestar eso. Mónica, 0.
Okay.
Yo, en el F-18 2 veces. 2 de como creo que 14 vuelos, entonces no todos, pero 2. Y en el extra hay unos... El extra 300 es una como avioneta. Yo siempre digo que es como un carrito con alas. Pero en esa era un poquito más por oler la gasolina y yo soy un weapon system operator, entonces yo estoy, mientras que no sé mientras que estamos volando, yo tengo que estar ahí viendo a dónde están.
Es más difícil.
Es un poquito más difícil para el cuerpo, creo, y es como estar atrás de un carro texteando, que te mareas un poco, pero cuando estás ahí haciendo piruetas y todo, unas veces. Sí.
Was there an advice that you got from Tom Cruise maybe about how to survive all that?
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, more than just advice, he set up this incredible training program for us. So, you know, we had about 30 hours of flight by the time we actually got into the F-18. So even, I mean, there were some people, you weren't like this, but there were some people who flew up, who threw up every single flight. And they had to learn basically to do that and keep working because, you know, this was going to happen whether, you know.
You can rally.
Yeah, yeah, that's what we said. You know, so everyone had to learn how to, you know, surmount these incredible difficulties. And thanks to his training program, by the time we got into the F-18, we were able to start thinking about, you know, acting and our lines and, you know, all of the rest of the things that we had to think about.
My last question for you is about this very sexy beach football montage that you did.
Yes, yes.
Bueno, en la escena
Because he said football,
yeah,
and you're like-
no, estamos haciendo eso en la escena todo el tiempo, pero también era un esfuerzo de la comunidad. Todos íbamos al gimnasio, todos estábamos hablando de qué es la dieta más saludable, pero también la que nos ayudaría a nuestros goals físicos.
I read that you had to shoot that twice, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, at least.
Bubs, remember Bubs?
Yes, yeah, we shot it once and we were all on very clean diets, taking it very seriously, especially the guys. I mean, I used to be in the ballet world and I've never seen people have that level of commitment to their physique in my life with these guys. And it was so funny because we filmed and then that night we all went out. We went to this place called Bubs in San Diego that has like tater tots and chicken wings. Then all of a sudden, Joe tells us the next day, oh, we need to reshoot some things. And everyone's like, and just panic all around. And then we reshot. We ended up doing the reshoots after Christmas. And Tom Cruise sends out this, I mean, it's well known amongst our industry that, you know, if you get in with Tom and like work on something cool with him, you get sent this cake. We call it the Tom Cruise cake, but it's by this incredible bakery in LA. And we all ate our cakes like solo, just in one sitting in my case. And then that was before we did the reshoot. Somos una familia.
Somos la familia.